They be eating trash for their lunches. Cause in life you gotta roll with the punches. Whoa, started Midwest, now we Cali boy. Always getting to it, yeah, we making noise. Started from the bottom, you already know. Gotta move fast to the cash, that's the way it go.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to the Garbage Eater Show. We got Lynn and myself here, and our next guest, Brie Thomas, owner and founder of Girl Power Fitness. And she's here to talk to you guys today about entrepreneurship, starting her own business, you know, doing the daily grind stuff, the garbage eating, you know, what that means to her. We're here to find out. So, Brie, if you could just kind of introduce yourself to the viewers and kind of tell us a little bit more about you and kind of what brought you into that.
So, yes. Well, first of all, I want to start out by saying that fitness is my passion, and that's kind of why I got into this. And when something is your passion, it drives you every day, and it doesn't matter like how many hours a day that you're working, or it doesn't matter how little sleep you got. It really it lights a fire up under your ass. And as you guys know, like whatever you take that you're passionate about and you take it full force, like it's just been one of the most amazing experiences. And I created Girl Power Fitness because I was so passionate about fitness and my own personal weight loss transformation, and I wanted to be an example and to help uplift other women. I found through my own fitness journey that I was able to help a lot of people, and through those experiences I was like, you know what, I can reach more than just my community. And I can outreach further, and I can make this huge, and I can be a bigger impact. And just the looks on people's faces when they experience their own transformations is so rewarding. So that's what really got me started in doing this.
When did your fitness journey start?
So it started about, I want to say 6 years ago, roughly. I graduated college, moved to a new city, and I had always been active in school, but as soon as college ended, I didn't really have anything, and I think that's where I started gaining a lot of weight. And I didn't have the background or the knowledge to like just go to the gym on my own because I was always doing stuff in school. So that's kind of where it started, and I remember my very first trainer. It was at a 24-hour fitness, actually. And I remember like the cost being so expensive, and I was like, you know, I'm gonna get fit. I'm gonna do this. And the very first coach I had said that he was going to write me a meal plan with my workout plan, and then he never ended up doing it. And then he also told me to do...
If you're out there.
Yeah. He also told me to do an hour of cardio every day if I wanted to lose weight. And...
What do you think about that, Lynn?
So we had like our couple training sessions throughout the week, and then when I wasn't with him, he was like, do an hour of cardio. And I'm over here like, yeah, I can do this fitness. And I'm doing my cardio, you know, turning into a little cardio bunny, like going into the what is it, the cinema or whatever, cardio cinema, you know, whatever. And being like, yeah, I just have to watch a whole movie and then my cardio will be done.
And I'll be in shape.
Let me tell you what, that lasted maybe like a month, and then I was like, fuck fitness. Like, this is stupid. Like, why would I do this?
I've watched all of my favorite movies.
You
it's
know,
not working.
Yeah, and you start getting bored and unmotivated, and finally I was just like, this, like, no, this is stupid. I don't want to do this. So I was like, I can do this on my own. So I started just like, okay, you know, reading on bodybuilding.com. That was like my first go-to resource, and started reading all these articles, learning all these things, trying out different things on my body. I'm like, okay, all I need to do is have protein and veggies at night. And so I would go to Costco and get their like giant orange chicken, like frozen orange, fried orange chicken. I'm like, there's my protein.
That's really good. That's really good.
And then I would eat it with like broccoli. And I'm like, okay, I could have this like twice a day. I got this. I could have this like at least twice a day. Protein, veggies. We're going to lose weight. And then, you know, shortly after that, a couple months go by, and I'm like, gosh, I just can't lose weight. Why? And it kind of like got me into this phase of like doing these fitness cycles. So I started going through all these cycles. I started doing all these fad diets, whatever was coming out. And what got me hooked on the fad diets was growing up, my parents were always trying to lose weight, so they were always doing something. So when I was in high school, actually, and I started having like a bunch of hormone imbalances, I gained a lot of weight in high school. I would gain a lot of weight and then I'd lose a lot of weight, and my parents were going on like the Atkins diet or Weight Watchers, so I was, as a high schooler, I was like, okay, I'll do it with you guys, and that kind of like got me in the mindset of that's how fitness should be. Like, you could lose it all, and then you have like this enjoyment period where you gain it all back, and then you have to like kill yourself and lose it all again and have this like rough period. And it was this roller coaster of like emotions. And anyways, when I got out on my own, I repeated the same steps. I started doing these crazy fad diets. I don't know if you guys ever heard of like the lemon juice maple juice cleanse, where it's like you squeeze like 6 lemons, you put in cayenne pepper and pure maple syrup, and you're supposed to have that every single meal, I think, except one meal you can have a regular meal. And I'm thinking like, oh yeah, this is gonna work, like my body is gonna be cleansed and I'm gonna lose weight. And I'll tell you, that lasted maybe about a week, and I wanted to shoot myself. And yeah, so I tried a lot of things out, and what would always happen is I would lose like 5-10 pounds, and then I would put on 20 back, and it was just like these vigorous cycles. And I had like some self-image issues where I just would never be comfortable in my own skin, and I hated that. Like, I hated going to the beach and everyone's just like, oh yeah, in their swimsuit, and I'm just kind of over here like covered up, like I don't think I can do this, even though I wasn't as bad as I thought I was.
Right.
And then there was some points in my life where, you know, I lost 5 or 10 pounds, and at the time I was 180 pounds, so I lost 5 pounds, and I'd be like, yeah, I lost 5 pounds, I'm fucking ripped. And then I go out, and then like I go to put on like my shorty shorts, and I'm like, yeah, I got this, like I lost some weight, and then they don't fit, and I'm like, what? And I'm like, why? Or like I just shove them on and like make it work, and then I would go out, and oh man, some of my friends had these pictures, and I'm like, why didn't you tell me I was wearing that? Like,
some friends you are.
Yeah, like if your friends don't tell you that your muffin top's hanging out, like those are not your friends. And I was just looking back on some of these photos, and I'm like, man, oh gosh, that was so bad. But yeah, I was making some really unhealthy choices, and so finally there was this one point in my life where I was looking in the mirror, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm great. I don't need to lose weight. Like, I look great. And I started putting on jeans to go out for the night. And I put on a pair of jeans. I'm like, oh, these don't fit. I'm like, oh, that's okay. They kind of run small. So I just threw them to the side and grabbed a different pair of jeans, put them on. Like, oh, well, I can't wear these tonight because I can't fit in them. I'm like, well, these run kind of small too. And then every girl has a pair of fat pants in their closet, and I'm sure you guys do too. But like, these are the pants you wear like after Thanksgiving. These are the pair that you wear, you know, maybe you just like on your period or whatever the case. These are your fat pants, and no matter what, you can always fit in your fat pants. That's why you always keep them, because you might have to use them at some point, you know, just in case. Every girl has. I mean, I promise you, ask any girl, they always have one fat pant.
I can promise you, I will never ask a girl if she has a pair of fat pants.
So I went to grab my fat pants, and I was like, these will definitely fit. And I put them on, and they didn't fit. And that's when I knew. I was like, oh shit, my fat pants don't fit. This isn't good. And I just remember at that point, I like, hands were thrown up, and I was like, I'll do anything. Like, just somebody help me, I'll do anything. Mm-hmm. So at that point, I had a really good girlfriend who was into bodybuilding, and she's the one that kind of got me into that. she was a really great trainer, and so she started helping me along my fitness journey. I kind of reached out to her and was like, I need your help. I'm like, this has got to stop. Like, I'm willing to do whatever it takes. And my diet at the time was pretty dirty. Like, someone says, you know, eat eggs and oatmeal in the morning. Well, I would have like 3 eggs and 3 egg yolks with like piles of cheese, and you know, I'm like, yeah, I'm eating eggs, I'm eating healthy. But yeah, so my perception of food and nutrition was really, you know, it was really skewed. So I just started learning and like committing to learning more about it. Started taking classes, started going to seminars, started just really getting into it. And the more and more I learned, the more and more like the pounds started to come off. And I just started to see my body transform. And then I got to a point in my life where I was like, okay, like I'm feeling really good. Like I could compete or something. Like maybe that should be my next goal. So I made doing bikini competitions like one of my goals. And I started competing about 3 years ago. And I mean, I love it. I think it's just a great goal to have. I don't necessarily always agree with all the politics involved with it and all that jazz, but it's good to give yourself a deadline, I think, and it's good to give yourself like a serious commitment goal, not a deadline like I want to be fit for summer, but I want to be fit by this date. And
I think just in any goals, that deadline's super important, you know, and then having some consequences.
Yeah.
Make it real.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that is something huge too with like entrepreneurship, is having set deadlines and having set goals. So
you mentioned something about your trainer, like he wrote you up a plan and told you he was going to give you something and didn't like deliver on that. Like when you started training people and, you know, giving them advice, what did you like do to make sure you weren't giving them like weird generic stuff like do an hour of cardio or eat this, don't eat at this time, you know? What did you do to make it more personable? Because that's a problem in the fitness industry. A lot of trainers will be like, people will be like, I'm a trainer now, I'm a this now, and just give random
Just
advice.
because you have an Instagram account or something.
Yeah.
right, yeah, it is tricky, and I do feel like the market's really saturated in that. And my thing is like, every person's different, so whenever I'm talking to a girl who either wants to gain weight or lose weight, I gotta know her story. I gotta know her situation. I gotta know what she's tried, what she hasn't tried, what, you know, her fears, her strengths, and really kind of pick out what she's been doing and what's been working and what hasn't been working. And then what I like to do personally is make minor adjustments to what she's doing currently. I feel like if I make a bunch of small changes, then we can make a progression versus like cutting cold turkey and being like, okay, you need to stop, drop what you're doing and go completely the other direction. Which there are some cases where that does happen. Like some, you know, I have had a girl one time who was doing an hour of cardio in the morning and an hour of cardio at night. And I'm like, girl, no.
No.
Get out of here. And then she's
No.
like, I want biceps, I can't have biceps. I'm like, you're burning them away. So it, you know, it all depends on the individual, and I mean that's where I want Girl Power Fitness to go. I want it to be very personalized and based off of your, you know, how much activity you're doing. There's a couple of girls that I train that can't even get to the gym. You know, they need home workouts 3 times a week, and that's it. The rest of the time they just need to focus on eating the right things. Which is totally possible as well. Someone can totally go through a program and have the exercise be minimal and still lose weight. It's just about eating right.
Right.
So,
what is Girl Power Fitness? Because, I mean, obviously we know what it is, but just so the viewers know, when they see Girl Power Fitness, what should they expect?
So Girl Power Fitness is a fitness company that is to inspire women to get into fitness and get into health and nutrition. So we just launched a cookbook this week, which has a ton of healthy recipes in it to encourage women to like switch up their routines, make different meals, show women that they don't need a cookie cutter diet to lose weight. They can actually make food that tastes good. So we've got kind of like this nutrition aspect, and then we also have the training aspect where we want to teach women how to be confident in the gym and how to go into the gym and know exactly what to do and how much of it to do. So we provide weekly workouts that, you know, are designed to, you know, a woman's taste. So big booty, you know, shoulders to make that hourglass shape. So yeah, we're focusing on the nutrition, and we're also focusing on the workouts. We want women to just feel confident in their own skin and to be able to go into a gym and know that what they're doing is right and it's getting them on the right track. I think the biggest thing that I've seen that just breaks my heart is like hearing from a gal that she wants to lose weight, but she goes into the gym and just doesn't know what to do. And I'm just like, oh, there's so many things you could do, just do, you know, and it's like those types of educational platforms are I feel like they're far and few between as far as what is really right and what is someone who's just overly training.
Right.
So I want to set the rules straight. Like, I want to tell the bad trainers, like, straight to their faces. Like, no, like, whatever, you know, if I see a bad trainer, I will literally go up to them and be like, whatever you're doing, like, no, we're not doing this anymore.
Right.
Like, this is why people have issues. And, like, it's the fitness, I mean, it's the fitness industry, and, you know, every industry, there's going to be leaders who want to just make money, and that's just kind of a way of life, but it's kind of us underdogs that kind of have to step up and make them accountable, honestly.
And then you kind of mentioned or hinted at something I've noticed in the last few years. So women will walk into a gym, or some will, and they won't know what to do, so they're not motivated to go. I cannot say that word, no matter how many episodes we have. Motivated. They don't feel motivated to go. But I think the biggest thing is maybe the intimidation factor of going into a gym. I know in the Midwest, or at least the gyms I've been to, obviously there's going to be more men in the gyms than girls. And like the last probably year and a half, 2 years in college, I've witnessed it go from sausage fest, for lack of better terms, to probably 50-50, or if not more girls than guys. You know, the girls are either A, on the treadmill, they're actually starting to get into weights, which is super good for you, you know. So that, have you seen that transition? Or are you doing anything to help kind of inspire women to say, hey, it's okay, you can get in there with the guys, you know, do your own thing?
Yeah, I mean, the whole app that we have coming out, it clearly displays like what workouts to do for that day, and it shows a video on how to do it. So it's super simple and super easy, and it's simplified. It's just like, just look at it and then do it. And there needs to be like no confusion, or no like you don't need to wonder like if you're doing the right things or not. It's clearly all laid out, and I've totally seen that in the gym as well. Like the gym that I go to right now, World Gym, I've talked to the owners, and they're like, man, we see more girls in here than guys now. And I just think that's so awesome. Like, girls are finally lifting weights and realizing that they're getting the results they want by doing that.
Right.
So.
And then to kind of crash all other myths of, because I lift weights and I'm a girl, I'm going to look like a guy. You definitely don't look like a guy. You lift weights. Can you please put it to rest for the people watching this?
It's true. You have to lift weights if you want to be toned. If you want to be tight, what makes that is having muscle, and the only way to get muscle is by lifting weights. So for the girls out there who are wondering if they can either do weights or do cardio, I would say cut out cardio completely, just do the weights, or do HIIT training or something like that. Way more beneficial for you.
Right on.
Smart.
Yeah.
Smart.
So you have the app coming out, and then you kind of mentioned the cookbook. I see you brought the iPad here. I kind of looked at it beforehand. It looks pretty amazing, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, let's bring it back to the entrepreneurial space. What are your total, like, what you have your business, you have your extension branching off to your gym. like map out for the people. What are your entrepreneurial ventures right now? Like what, or how many you have going, or do you have any more planned in the future? Like what's your entrepreneurial expansion mindset?
Okay, so like where is it going?
Yeah.
So we've got all these different like platforms to help women, and the overall goal is just to be like to crush the fitness industry, to bring women together, to be able to like stand up to some of those bigger supplement companies and be like, hey, no. And that's, I mean, they call me ripped and reckless for a reason, so I'm gonna get reckless with it. Get reckless with it. But the goal, I mean, so this all started, you know, like any entrepreneurial idea, it started with an idea. And man, like, it's kind of been crazy just how it's grown over the past year. I probably had this idea, I want to say about a year ago, yeah. And I mean, we just launched the cookbook. This cookbook I probably worked on 6 months, but part of that was my fault. I probably could have gotten it out sooner, but that's kind of where being an entrepreneur steps up. You have to decide if you're going to make sacrifices, or if you're going to put something off, or if you're going to go for it. And right now, where I'm at in my life, I'm like, I'm going for it, like full force. Like nothing can stop us. So
Now you said us, so it's you, and then do you have a team of people to help you get, you know, through it?
yeah, so when I say us, I say like, what I mean is like the Girl Power Tribe. And like right now we have a Facebook group of about 250 women who all are just want to know more about fitness, and it's just community where we can share like our struggles, like what we're going through during the week. I post a lot of recipes in there for the girls, and then we just talk about like daily life, what we're struggling with, how can we overcome it. So
So you got the, or what were you?
Please.
I was just gonna say, so you got the app, you got the cookbook, you got the gym coming soon, gym on the way, or is it gym here?
Oh, like actual gym?
Yeah, or yeah.
That would be pretty cool. I don't know about that.
Oh
but
no, oh, I'm mistaken. I thought the women's gym was coming, or
oh,
maybe
women's
not.
only gym?
Yeah.
No, because we need eye candy too.
Fair enough. I was gonna say, this is women's only, and then guys can come in. Like,
Yeah,
this is a great
right?
gym.
Like, hey.
I love this gym.
So we're doing a bunch of stuff. I mean, we've got clothing and hats too.
Yeah, clothing,
you know,
apparel.
so the whole thing. Like, we want to create a movement. We want to start doing like seminars and photo shoots and just blow it up.
Ripped and reckless.
Yeah.
Supplements.
Now, is it just for younger women, or is you trying to get the older generations involved as well, the moms?
Yeah, it's everyone. Anyone who wants to just learn about health and fitness in their body. So.
Great. And every entrepreneur obviously has to make sacrifices, and they have to prioritize their time. And, you know, kind of like Sean said in our last video, what are some of the sacrifices that you kind of had to make in order to make up time to work on this?
So I think one of the hardest sacrifices for me is to the relationships that I've kind of had to give up or let settle because I don't have enough time to nurture them. And what I mean by that is like I have always been a yes girl. Like someone says, hey, you want to hang out? Yes. You want to do this? You want to go out Friday night? Yes. And because I love just like social interaction, everyone does.
Right.
But there comes a point where you have to decide, is what you're doing more important than going out for drinks? You have to decide, are you going to spend your paycheck on hiring a graphic designer, or are you going to spend it on a couple cocktails? So for me, it's like there comes a point where you have to decide, what is this worth to you? Where do you think this is going? And when I look at Girl Power Fitness, I think of this as like the rest of my life. I look at this and I'm like, this is what I'm doing, like forever. And this is like, I want this to leave a legacy. And so when I think about, hey, what am I going to do on a Friday night? Like, I want to freaking work on the legacy over here. Like, you guys go get drunk and have fun, and that's fine. I'm like, but I'm going to go over here and I'm going to build this legacy. I want to change lives. I want to help people. Like, I want to do something that's meaningful. I want people to, like, look at the brain and just smile because it makes them happy. And, you know, I've had to give up some relationships because of that, and that's been the hardest thing. Like, some of the friends that I used to go out and party with all the time, who I love and who are awesome, but our relationships just kind of died because that's all that we really had in common. As soon as I started putting my goals and my aspirations in front of them, they're like, oh, well, you're going to go do that entrepreneurial thing. We're just going to go over here and enjoy ourselves. And while they look like they're having an amazing time, I feel better about myself because at the end of the day, I know that I'm doing something that means something.
Right.
So.
That's good.
Okay, so during that transition from going out and doing your thing, between that and this entrepreneurial venture you're going on now, did you ever go through that experience of FOMO or fear of missing out? Was that something you struggled with? You know, kind of, if you want to go into that experience with me.
Yeah, definitely. So let me kind of like lay out what my schedule looks like for you guys. I have a day job. I'm a video editor at a horse company, and I also do freelance on the side. So my day jobs usually start from like 7 to 4. Then I'll work out from 4 to 6. And then I will work on my, on the Girl Power Fitness from like 6 to 11 or 6 to 10. Kind of depends on like how much energy I've got left in me. That's kind of what my day looks like. Definitely Monday through Friday. And then Saturdays, I finally have a daylight, I should say, to do something. So I always dedicate one day on the weekend to do like content videos or outside videos because I'm usually stuck in an office. And then what I do is I try to have at least one like afternoon and evening that is just planned for just having fun.
Right.
And I think that really helps with the FOMO because throughout the week I'm just go, like working all day. Like I don't really have a lot of time to do extracurricular activities. Like a girlfriend asked me to go get dinner. I'm like, great, can I bring my laptop too? Or like, hey, I'll bring my laptop. You bring your laptop. We'll have dinner and we'll work next to each other.
Right.
And that's been, we started a San Diego Boss Babe Girls group. We meet up at like coffee shops and we bring our laptops and we work on our businesses and we kind of socialize that way. And that kind of like settles our like social anxiety of the FOMO that we have because we're literally like, but we're together. And it makes us feel like, you know, okay, we still have friends. Like we're entrepreneurs, but we still know people. Like we still go out, you know, we'll pick a different coffee spot every time. Like,
right.
So, I mean, I definitely do get it. I get it a lot, especially like social media and seeing it on Instagram. Like I see people doing all these cool things and like traveling to these cool places and like, oh, I want to do that and I want to be there. But I mean, I told myself that I would take no international trips this year, strictly because I wanted to focus on the business. I wanted it to be my reward.
That's good.
Yeah. So I would say like going back to making goals and making rewards. So that really helps with the FOMO too. I'm kind of like, hey, you know what? It's okay that you're missing out right now because you're going to get that later. But this is going to be done and this is more important.
Right. Yeah. Picking up off of like the entrepreneurial thing, like boss babes meeting up, women in the entrepreneurial space is like definitely something that's big and growing, and like we need to see more of and get more of in the world. So do you have like any advice for any of our young ladies, our viewers, like as far as starting off, you know, they have ideas, where to start, you know, how to get that thought or idea out there in such a male dominated space, you know?
It's definitely intimidating, I would say, being a female entrepreneur. I went to the Traffic and Conversion Summit that was here in San Diego a couple weeks ago, which is all for people trying to make a business online and through videos. And the amount of girls that were there are like very slim, and it's very intimidating. You've got all these guys ruling the space, but I would say we have just as great a chance as anyone to make a good business, but it takes a lot of learning and growth. So I would say for you ladies out there, do something that's going to challenge you and grow you every single day. For example, like I have a commute every morning that's 20 minutes on the freeway. It doesn't sound like a lot, but you could either be listening to music or you could be listening to like your favorite podcast. I love Russell Branson, and he's like always just giving me really good ideas and is turning my wheels in the morning and helping me learn things that I didn't know. And that 20 minutes a day, I've learned something new, and I can apply that to whatever I'm doing. So I would say make sure you're doing something every single day. Like a perfect example, I have a TV in my house, and it's not even plugged in right now because we move it around for like videos for YouTube and stuff. It's not even plugged in. And my roommate's an entrepreneur too, so it helps. We feed off each other, but you really have to invest in yourself and your own personal growth, whether that's taking an e-class, and whether that's, you've got to pick and choose where you're going to get your growth from. Where do you have some spare time to learn something? Maybe you have a lunch break. Take that lunch break and learn something new. There's so much stuff on YouTube. Just Google something, anything, like how to drive more traffic, or how to make a graphic in Illustrator, or how to use Photoshop.
Right.
And another thing I would suggest to you for women is get a team under you. I feel like sometimes as women we always want to be know-it-alls, and we tend to just take everything on ourselves, and we want, and I did this for probably about a year, and it was so bad. I wanted to know I wanted to be the expert in everything. I wanted to be the expert in the graphic design, in the web design, in the Facebook marketing, in YouTube advertising, like all these different things that I know I needed. But I'm only one person, and I can only learn so fast. And I can sit here and I can learn all these things, and then by the time I learn how to be an expert in all these things, it's going to be 3 years later, and you're going to be sitting on that idea, and either someone else has used it, or you're going to be so unmotivated, you're just going to be like, I'll just come up with something else, and then you're starting from ground zero again. So something that I did to build my team is use different sites that actually outsource like whatever you need for your business. So for example, like this cookbook that we just came out with, I'll go to the cover. I actually outsourced this cover to a graphic designer in India who charged me $8 an hour to do any kind of graphic that I want. And the site for that is Upwork.com. And you can hire anyone for anything. Literally, if you need a virtual assistant to post your Instagram posts for $4 an hour, you can hire someone to do that. So yeah, I don't know if you can see it very well, but this cookbook, like we took this in my kitchen on my camera. I had a guy design it for maybe $10. If I tried to sit down and learn how to do all this stuff on my own on Photoshop, it would have taken me 3 weeks to make a cover to a cookbook, but instead it took me a day. So get a team under you. I would say that's like my number one advice, whether it's like friends or family helping you, other entrepreneurs. Like what I like to do with other female entrepreneurs is like trade services. I'm really good in video, and there might not be another girl that's really good in like copywriting, and we'll kind of switch off, or like I'll help her film a video and then she'll help me film a video, or vice versa. Right. So like always look for people who are willing to like help you out or be a part of what you're doing. Get people to believe in what you're doing so that you can build a team under you. Because we can't learn it all, and if we try to do that, we just end up sitting on it for months and months and months, and nothing happens, and then your dream it dies, and it's sad. So.
Very good point.
And you said something that really stuck out to me that I've witnessed personally the last year. I hate reading, like, more than anything. I would read the bare minimum in high school, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I never made the time to really try to learn something through a book. I would always just, like, watch a video on YouTube or do something where I could listen to somebody talk.
Mm-hmm.
And then I found out about this app called Audible from Amazon,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, this is perfect. I'm in sales now, I'm in the car a lot, or if I'm doing like a bid in the office or something, I'll always have my headphone in and I'll be listening to a podcast. Whether it's a Joe Rogan podcast, those are my favorite, like, just for fun podcasts, and I'm learning a lot from those. But then I'm also, reading books on, how to build a brand, how to invest in real estate, how to, all these different things.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't think I had all this time to learn anything, because I didn't want to read a book, but this audio book was perfect, and I could fit it in and almost do it with anything.
Mm-hmm.
There's been a couple times where, like, on a Friday night, because I don't go out on Friday nights usually, or I'll sit in my room, I'll put the headphones in, I'll just, like, lay back and listen to these things, and my roommates will be like, Cody, and I won't hear them, and they'll come into the door, or into the room thinking I'm dead, and there I am just sitting on my bed with my audiobook going, But that's a really cool point about just finding that time to listen to something if you don't have time to sit down and read it. And I've sent books to my parents, I've sent books to some relatives I never thought would ever take time to listen or read a book either. Maybe that's where I got it from, but they love them. So now they finished the first book I sent them, then they ended up buying the app, and now they're just going with wherever they want to go with their books. So you can always learn.
What I've realized is that we all have time. You just have to make it a priority to fit it in there.
Right.
Whatever you're doing. Like, so for example, I love getting my nails done. Every time I go get my nails done, it's usually like an hour and a half. That's a lot of time. And usually what I do is I'm sitting in there, I'm talking to the ladies, I'm watching the TV, like, I'm just enjoying myself, having a good time. And here I'm sitting and, like, this is an opportunity where I have an hour and a half to learn something that can help me. And now I'm like, I'll YouTube, like, something Tony Robbins.
Yeah.
And then I put it on there, and my lady's looking at me like, "You watching YouTube right now?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm watching YouTube right now. Like, I gotta learn some shit, okay?"
Okay, don't disturb me.
Yeah,
right?
don't talk to me. Like,
Right
she's
now.
like, then she'll just like look at me, and she's like, "That's good." I'm like, "Yeah, that's good." Keep going. But yeah, just find, like, you have time. Like, just like know exactly what you want to learn. Like, write out some questions of what you want to learn. And then the next time where you think you can fit it in, Google that question and find a video on it. Like, honestly, just YouTube's your best friend.
Yeah, it's always something to learn.
Always on YouTube.
It's always something to learn, and it's always on YouTube.
That's right.
It's there.
Right. So you said that you have an app and you have the cookbook that you're kind of scrolling through there. When should everybody expect that coming out? I know you said this week. Where do they look for it? We can always attach to a video.
So the cookbook that is coming out, it's called the Bikini Bible Cookbook, because you should keep it with you at all times. And you can find it at bikinibiblecookbook.com. So that easy.
Perfect.
Very cool.
So, yeah.
And then you're working on the app itself? Or?
Yep. So the app isn't out yet. It should be out in the next month or two, kind of depending on when the Apple Store will let us launch it.
Okay, cool.
So,
And when it does come out, just let us know. We can
Yeah.
always shoot it out to everybody.
we'll have a big celebration party. You guys will know. So.
Right on.
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome.
Cool. Well, that about wraps up everything for today. Brie, thank you for coming out. We appreciate it. Thank you for giving some advice to everyone out there. Her cookbook, the link will be right below in the video bio, so click that, check that out. Cody, you got anything?
Yeah, I mean, we really appreciate having you as our first female guest on the show. That's awesome. Hopefully you guys learned something. I know I definitely did. I'm sure you did as well. So yeah, also thank you very much for the support, guys. The shirt orders are awesome. We're almost sold out on those. But just like the different questions you guys are sending in via text, Snapchat, Instagram message, phone calls, emails, you name it, we really appreciate that. We take those into consideration when we ask our guests different questions based off the topic. So if you guys have any more questions or ideas or people in certain industries that you want us to bring on the show, let us know, and we'd be more than happy to do that for you guys. So without further ado, thank you very much for coming on the show. You get hooked up with this nice Garbage Eaters shirt.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So
Love
that
Brie.
is yours.
Don't be offended if I make it a crop top.
Will not be offended. So thank you very much, everybody. Thank you, Brie.
Yeah, thank you guys.
You bet. And remember, guys, there's always value in the garbage.